So I said I'd never cover Tommy Robinson after my last video. But unfortunately, because of recent events, I'm sure you all know about the recent terrorist attack by a guy from Wales. Basically, trying to not talk about him is like trying to talk about, you know, the fruit bowl when you really want a piece of fruit, but you're not allowed to talk about it. So, this is what I was constantly, in my 3 videos, warning about. All he does is spread fear against anyone who is Muslim, and then the day, I think it was the day after, or it might have been yesterday, he went on Good Morning Great Britain, and Piers Morgan and, you know, his co-host did a really good job of interviewing him, because he didn't want to seem to answer any question legitimately. He tried to pass the blame off on one question to the Daily Mail, where Piers was literally asking him, you know, why after an hour of this attack did you then go on the attack yourself and almost congratulate this guy for doing what he did. Tommy Robinson just goes, oh, well, the Daily Mail. No, he was asking you, Tommy. And this is, as I've said before, Tommy Robinson has taken a leaf out of Ray Comfort's book. You know, say one thing when you mean another, and when you get questioned on one thing, divert attention away or try and turn it back on the person themselves. And that's what he did throughout the entire interview. And it's just ridiculous, because the day before, if you go back and look at his tweets, he was calling all Muslims are enemy combatants. What are you meant to make of that? And people who have come on my channel before and said, oh, he doesn't hate all Muslims, right from the horse's mouth, Tommy Robinson, all Muslims are enemy combatants. What are we meant to take away from this? And the worrying thing is that this guy got violent. This guy got caught. This guy actually committed a serious act of violence. Now, the problem is, as I've said before and highlighted in other videos, is when, you know, these types of attacks happen, violence is always perpetrated against the Muslim community within that area. There is a massive, stark increase. Now, most of the time, these don't get overly violent, luckily. Sometimes they do, and they go unreported sometimes in the mass media. But this time, it did. And again, this guy doing what he did, literally was following these preachings of Tommy and his other ilk, that, you know, all Muslims are the enemy. And the sad thing is I called it in one of my videos, one of the first videos I did about Tommy. You know, I said his actions will cause someone to go after, you know, UK Muslims. Oh, look, someone's actually gone after UK Muslims. Will this be the last time this happens? I don't think so. You've already got Tommy and his followers creating stupid conspiracy theories, like the imam that went out and stopped, you know, and told, you know, everyone else, don't beat him up, you know, hold him until the police come, have all saying that he paid him, the attacker, to come and do this. With no evidence, by the way. It's just a saying that these guys are going around and saying. But there you go. It's everything I've said in my last Tommy Robinson videos, if you want my views on him, go watch them. You know, I've said everything I possibly can about the man, and this is almost a filler on top of the cake, because everything I said in those videos about him, about how he is spreading, hatred and fear of anyone who is a Muslim, has just been proven to be true. And the Piers Morgan interview was a perfect example. Not a single, direct question he was asked, he didn't have a legitimate answer to. He either tried to pass the buck on to someone else, or he tried to turn the question back onto, his two presenters, which I've said before is exactly what a creationist like Ray Comfort does. And he went on Twitter afterwards and said that Piers Morgan was asking loaded and biased questions. All he was doing was asking what was going through your head when you wrote this tweet. I don't know what more I could say about him, but the exact questions that I'd ask him were the exact same type Piers Morgan would ask him. So I know if I ever got the chance to actually interview, or should Tommy ever show up on my doorstep, I very much doubt he ever will. I very much doubt I will ever get onto Troll Watch, but hey, who knows? So yeah, those are the exact same questions I would ask, and about his actions and the stuff that he tweets out. Actions speak louder than words, and his actions reflect someone who is spreading fear and hatred of Muslims in an attempt to try and basically get people to, fear and hate Muslims. That's just the bottom line. There's no other way you can cut it. I'm sorry, but there's no other way. And if you think any other different way, then I'm sorry, but you've bought Tommy's ridiculous selling points hook, line and sinker. And if that is the case, then you really need to think, are you a racist? Am I a bigot? Because here's the thing, there are legitimate criticisms to be made against Islam. I agree. There are plenty of legitimate criticisms to be made. The problem is that people then hide behind that criticism. And I've made that argument in my other Tommy Robinson videos. Again, go watch those videos. They're in a playlist if you want to go watch them all. This will also be in the playlist as well. So that's basically all I've got to say on this and Tommy Robinson, and quite frankly, I hope I never have to deal or do another video about him again. However, I suspect I might not be in the near future.